In the vast darkness of space, humanity's first encounter with alien life began not with conflict, but with a moment of breathtaking wonder. The Earth Spaceship Defender cruised silently through the Proxima Centauri system, its advanced sensors sweeping the surrounding space for any signs of anomalies or potential threats. Captain Lee Sung sat in his command chair, his experienced eyes scanning the stream of data flowing across the holographic displays. 20 years of space service had taught him to trust his instincts, and something about today felt different. The crew worked efficiently at their stations, the quiet hum of the ship's systems providing a familiar backdrop to their routine patrol. "Captain," called out Officer Rio from the sensor station, his voice cutting through the calm atmosphere. "I'm detecting an unusual energy signature at bearing 047, distance 500,000 kilometers. It's unlike anything in our database." Lee Sung leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Show me," he commanded, and a three-dimensional projection materialized in the center of the bridge. The energy reading pulsed with an otherworldly rhythm, its pattern too precise to be natural. As the crew watched, space itself seemed to ripple, and three massive ships emerged from what appeared to be folds in reality. Their hulls gleamed like polished crystal, catching and refracting the light of Proxima Centauri in ways that made them appear almost alive. The vessels were clearly artificial, yet their design spoke of technology far beyond human understanding. "All stations, battle ready," Lee Sung ordered calmly, though his heart raced. This was the moment humanity had both dreamed of and feared, first contact with an alien civilization. But do not, I repeat, do not power weapons unless directly ordered. Before tension could fully grip the bridge, something unexpected happened. The alien vessels began broadcasting on all frequencies, their communication channels wide open, a universal sign of peaceful intentions. The message that came through was not in any human language, but its structure suggested intelligence and deliberate attempt at communication. Earth's emergency first contact protocols were immediately activated. Within hours, Ambassador Kim Hana, Earth's most accomplished diplomat, was transported to the ESS Defender via the newest quantum teleportation system. Her arrival brought with her a team of linguists and xenobiologists, all trained for this historic moment. Kim Hana proved to be the perfect choice for humanity's first interaction with alien life. Her patience and intuitive understanding of communication helped bridge the gap between species. Through a combination of advanced translation algorithms and careful cultural exchange, they learned these beings called themselves the Aldarians. The Aldarian representative, who introduced himself as Ta Yang, possessed a gentle demeanor that helped ease the natural tensions of first contact. Through careful dialogue, both species discovered they shared many common values: a love of exploration, a dedication to scientific advancement, and a deep respect for life in all its forms. As days turned into weeks, the initial meeting blossomed into a full cultural exchange. The Aldarians shared stories of their own journey to the stars, their technological achievements, and their hopes for the future. Humans, in turn, shared their art, music, and the rich tapestry of Earth's many cultures. The Aldarians showed particular fascination with human creativity and adaptability, traits they admired greatly. However, the peaceful atmosphere changed during a diplomatic dinner aboard the Aldarian flagship. The massive vessel's dining hall was a marvel of engineering, with walls that seemed to shift like liquid crystal, creating an ever-changing array of colors and patterns. Earth's representatives, including Captain Lee Sung and Ambassador Kim, had been invited to share a meal with the Aldarian leadership. As they enjoyed the exotic but carefully selected compatible foods, Ta Yang's usual warm expression faded into something darker. His crystalline features, which normally sparkled with inner light, seemed to dim. The change was so noticeable that conversation around the table gradually fell silent. "There is something you must know," Ta Yang said, his translated words carrying a weight that made everyone present sit straighter. "We did not choose this region of space by chance. We came here seeking allies. He explained about the Nexer Empire, a species that had abandoned diplomacy for conquest centuries ago. The Nexer believed in their absolute superiority and saw other species as resources to be harvested or eliminated. They had already destroyed dozens of civilizations, some even more advanced than the Aldarians. In the vast darkness of space, humanity's first encounter with alien life began not with conflict, but with a moment of breathtaking wonder. The Earth Spaceship Defender cruised silently through the Proxima Centauri system, its advanced sensors sweeping the surrounding space for any signs of anomalies or potential threats. Captain Lee Sung sat in his command chair, his experienced eyes scanning the stream of data flowing across the holographic displays. 20 years of space service had taught him to trust his instincts, and something about today felt different. The crew worked efficiently at their stations, the quiet hum of the ship's systems providing a familiar backdrop to their routine patrol. "Captain," called out Officer Ryu from the sensor station, his voice cutting through the calm atmosphere. "I'm detecting an unusual energy signature at bearing 047, distance 500,000 kilometers. It's unlike anything in our database." Lee Sung leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Show me," he commanded, and a three-dimensional projection materialized in the center of the bridge. The energy reading pulsed with an otherworldly rhythm, its pattern too precise to be natural. As the crew watched, space itself seemed to ripple, and three massive ships emerged from what appeared to be folds in reality. Their hulls gleamed like polished crystal, catching and refracting the light of Proxima Centauri in ways that made them appear almost alive. The vessels were clearly artificial, yet their design spoke of technology far beyond human understanding. "All stations, battle ready," Lee Sung ordered calmly, though his heart raced. This was the moment humanity had both dreamed of and feared. First contact with an alien civilization. But do not, I repeat, do not power weapons unless directly ordered. Before tension could fully grip the bridge, something unexpected happened. The alien vessels began broadcasting on all frequencies, their communication channels wide open. A universal sign of peaceful intentions. The message that came through was not in any human language, but its structure suggested intelligence and deliberate attempt at communication. Earth's emergency first contact protocols were immediately activated. Within hours, Ambassador Kim Hana, Earth's most accomplished diplomat, was transported to the ESS Defender via the newest quantum teleportation system. Her arrival brought with her a team of linguists and xenobiologists, all trained for this historic moment. Kim Hana proved to be the perfect choice for humanity's first interaction with alien life. Her patience and intuitive understanding of communication helped bridge the gap between species. Through a combination of advanced translation algorithms and careful cultural exchange, they learned these beings called themselves the Aldarians. The Aldarian representative, who introduced himself as Ta Yang, possessed a gentle demeanor that helped ease the natural tensions of first contact. Through careful dialogue, both species discovered they shared many common values: a love of exploration, a dedication to scientific advancement, and a deep respect for life in all its forms. As days turned into weeks, the initial meeting blossomed into a full cultural exchange. The Aldarians shared stories of their own journey to the stars, their technological achievements, and their hopes for the future. Humans, in turn, shared their art, music, and the rich tapestry of Earth's many cultures. The Aldarians showed particular fascination with human creativity and adaptability, traits they admired greatly. However, the peaceful atmosphere changed during a diplomatic dinner aboard the Aldarian flagship. The massive vessel's dining hall was a marvel of engineering, with walls that seemed to shift like liquid crystal, creating an ever-changing array of colors and patterns. Earth's representatives, including Captain Lee Sung and Ambassador Kim, had been invited to share a meal with the Aldarian leadership. As they enjoyed the exotic but carefully selected compatible foods, Ta Yang's usual warm expression faded into something darker. His crystalline features, which normally sparkled with inner light, seemed to dim. The change was so noticeable that conversation around the table gradually fell silent. "There is something you must know," Tai Yang said, his translated words carrying a weight that made everyone present sit straighter. "We did not choose this region of space by chance. We came here seeking allies." He explained about the Nexer Empire, a species that had abandoned diplomacy for conquest centuries ago. The Nexer believed in their absolute superiority and saw other species as resources to be harvested or eliminated. They had already destroyed dozens of civilizations, some even more advanced than the Aldarians. "Captain," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving a distress signal from Aldarian Mining Station 7. They report unknown ships approaching their position." Lead Minho straightened in his command chair. "Sound battle stations. Send word to the Valiant. We move to intercept." As the massive warships turned toward the distress call, crew members throughout the vessel prepared for what could be humanity's first engagement with the Nexer Empire. The Guardian's engines pulsed with power, pushing the ship to speeds that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. Back on Earth, Commander Park Jin received regular updates from the fleet. Each report added to his growing concern about the Nexer's capabilities. They were dealing with an enemy that had centuries of experience in conquest, yet knew nothing about humanity's true military capabilities, a double-edged sword that could either be their greatest advantage or their downfall. Admiral Kang ordered the activation of Earth's planetary defense grid, a network of advanced weapon platforms and shield generators. The Aldarians helped upgrade these systems with their crystalline technology, creating a hybrid defense network unlike anything seen before in the galaxy. As the days passed, more Aldarian colonies reported strange ships at their borders. The Nexer were testing responses, probing defenses, looking for weaknesses. Each time Earth ships responded, the unknown vessels retreated into deep space, but the message was clear. They were being watched and measured. The waiting game had begun. Humanity and the Aldarians prepared for a conflict that would determine the fate of both their species, while the Nexer Empire's forces gathered in the darkness of space, their true strength and intentions still unknown. The only certainty was that when the attack came, it would come without warning, and Earth's response would need to be immediate and decisive. The first sign of the attack came as a faint tremor in Nova Prime's defense grid. The Aldarian colony, home to over 50,000 settlers, floated serenely in space, its crystalline structures reflecting the light of 3 moons. In the colony's control center, the night shift operators watched their screens with growing concern as sensor readings began to fluctuate. Governor Han Jiwu was awakened by the emergency alert. She rushed to the command center, her crystalline sleeping robes still wrapped around her shoulders. The main display showed multiple objects dropping out of faster-than-light travel, their energy signatures matching no known friendly vessels. "Send the distress signal. Begin emergency evacuation procedures," she ordered, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. "Get me a direct line to the ESS Valiant." But before the communications officer could establish the link, the first shots were fired. Massive energy beams sliced through space, striking Nova Prime's outer defensive shields. The entire colony shuddered under the impact. Aboard the ESS Valiant, Captain Lee Sung was already moving his battle group at maximum speed toward Nova Prime when the distress call came through. The ship's quantum engines pushed them to velocities that made the stars blur, but even at these speeds, they were precious minutes away from the colony. "Status report on Nova Prime's defenses," Lee Sung commanded, his fingers gripping his command chair as the ship accelerated even harder. "Their shields are holding at 60%, sir," his tactical officer reported. "We're detecting 27 Nexer warships. They're using some kind of energy weapon we've never seen before." On Nova Prime, Governor Han coordinated the evacuation efforts. The colony's underground shelters filled with civilians as transport ships began launching from the emergency base. The Nexer ships, massive black vessels that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, continued their relentless bombardment. "Get the children and elderly on the first transports," Han ordered, watching as another shield generator failed under the assault. Priority to medical patients and essential personnel. Everyone else to the deep shelters. The Nexer commander, watching from his flagship, felt only contempt for the desperate evacuation efforts below. His species had conquered dozens of worlds, and this colony would be no different. The arrival of primitive human warships was hardly worth noting. Their technology was centuries behind the Nexer Empire's capabilities. But Captain Lee Sung had a plan. As the Valiant's battle group approached Nova Prime, he ordered his ships to maintain radio silence. Let the Nexer think they were rushing in blindly to defend their allies. All ships, execute pattern Omega on my mark, he commanded through secured quantum channels. Target their command ships first. Show them exactly what primitive looks like. The Nexer ships detected the approaching Earth vessels, but paid them little attention, continuing their bombardment of the colony. Their scans showed no energy weapons, no advanced shield technology, nothing that could possibly threaten their superior forces. That was their first mistake. Execute pattern Omega, Lee Sung ordered. In that instant, the true power of Earth's warships was revealed. The Valiant and its escort vessels suddenly accelerated to speeds the Nexer had thought impossible for such primitive craft. Advanced shield technology, hidden until this moment, snapped into place around each ship. The Nexer commander had only moments to realize his error before the Valiant opened fire. Earth's weapons, developed in secret and enhanced with Alderian insights, carved through the Nexer ship's defenses like they weren't even there. Target their weapon systems, Lee Sung commanded as his ships executed perfect attack formations. Don't let them get another shot at the colony. On Nova Prime's surface, Governor Han watched in amazement as Earth's warships engaged the Nexer fleet. The attacking ships, which had seemed unstoppable moments before, were now scrambling to regroup against this unexpected threat. The Valiant's battle group moved with practiced precision, their coordinated attacks disrupting the Nexer formation. 3 enemy ships were disabled in the first pass alone, their weapons systems reduced to molten slag by the humans' precise targeting. Sir, they're trying to regroup for a counterattack, the Valiant's tactical officer reported. Not today, Lee Sung responded. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta. Show them what happens when they threaten our allies. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations. Earth's warships danced through space, their movements defying the Nexer's expectations at every turn. What had started as a simple conquest for the Nexer Empire had turned into their first major defeat in centuries. As the last Nexer ships retreated into faster-than-light travel, Captain Lee Sung ordered immediate assistance to Nova Prime. The colony had suffered damage, but thanks to Governor Han's quick action and the timely arrival of Earth's forces, most of the population had survived. Standing in Nova Prime's damaged control center, Governor Han watched Earth's rescue ships approach. The Nexer had made a crucial mistake. They had assumed that humanity's apparent technological inferiority meant they posed no threat. They had never considered that Earth might have hidden strengths, or that the determination to protect allies might make up for any technological gap. The Nexer Empire had just learned an important lesson. Never underestimate humanity. But it was a lesson that would come at an even higher price as the war continued to unfold. The victory at Nova Prime had bought them time. But Admiral Kang knew it wouldn't last long. He stood in Earth's strategic command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing fleet movements and battle scenarios. The room was filled with the top military minds from both Earth and Alderian forces, all gathered to hear his new strategy. The Nexer will return, Admiral Kang began, his voice carrying across the silent room. And next time, they'll bring their full fleet. We need something more than just good ships and brave crews. We need a game changer. At his command, the central hologram shifted to display a complex network of interconnected ships and defense platforms. Operation Aegis Shield was more than just a battle plan. It was a complete reimagining of space warfare. Lieutenant Yoon Ha-won stepped forward, her hands moving through the holographic display to highlight key elements of the new system. As the chief engineer of the ESS Guardian, she had spent the last 3 years developing technology that would change the course of the war. The quantum shield matrix doesn't just stop enemy fire, she explained, showing simulations of the system in action. It learns from each attack, adapting and strengthening itself. The more they hit us, the stronger our defenses become. Tai Yang, the Aldarian tactical advisor, nodded in approval. His crystalline features reflected the blue light of the holograms as he added his own insights. The Nexer rely on overwhelming force. They've never faced an enemy that grows stronger under attack. The room watched in amazement as Lieutenant Yoon demonstrated the system's capabilities. The AI-assisted targeting system worked in perfect harmony with the quantum shields, using the enemy's own energy attacks to enhance targeting accuracy and power distribution. We've already begun installing the system across the fleet, Admiral Kang continued. The ES Guardian will serve as the command and control center, coordinating the shield network across all our ships. In the following days, Earth's shipyards worked around the clock. Engineers and technicians swarmed over vessels, installing the new shield generators and AI systems. Lieutenant Yoon personally oversaw the installations, making sure each ship was properly integrated into the network. Aboard the ES Guardian, Captain Park Soo-jin watched as his ship's systems were upgraded. The vessel's power core hummed with new energy as the quantum shield matrix came online. His crew trained constantly, learning to work with the AI targeting systems that would give them an edge in battle. Lieutenant Yoon, he called out as she finished calibrating the main shield generator. How long until the entire fleet is ready? She checked her data pad, reviewing the installation schedules. The last ships will be upgraded within 2 weeks, Captain. The Aldarian vessels are already integrated into the network. Their crystalline technology works perfectly with our quantum systems. In the training simulators, ship crews learn to work with the new technology. The AI targeting systems proved to be incredibly intuitive, almost seeming to predict where enemy ships would be before they arrived. The quantum shields responded instantly to threats, redirecting energy and strengthening vulnerable areas automatically. Admiral Kang received regular progress reports in the command center. Each successful installation brought them closer to being ready for the Nexer's return. But he knew they were racing against time. The Nexer won't stay quiet for long, Tai Yang warned during one of their strategy sessions. Their pride was wounded at Nova Prime. They'll want revenge. Lieutenant Yoon worked tirelessly, fine-tuning the systems and training crew members. She had designed the quantum shield matrix to be adaptable, capable of learning from each engagement. Every simulation they ran made the AI smarter, more responsive. The key is coordination, she explained to a group of ship captains. Each ship's shield adds to the strength of the whole network. The more ships we have working together, the stronger our defenses become. The Aldarian ships proved to be perfect partners in the network. Their crystalline technology resonated with the quantum fields, creating defensive barriers stronger than anything either species could achieve alone. As the last ships were upgraded, Admiral Kang called for a full fleet exercise. Hundreds of vessels, both human and Aldarian, gathered in deep space to test the system under combat conditions. The results exceeded even Lieutenant Yoon's expectations. The ships moved as one, their shields linking and supporting each other automatically. Training drones couldn't penetrate the defensive screen, their attacks absorbed and redirected by the adaptive shields. This is more than just a defense system, Captain Park observed as he watched the exercise from the Guardian's bridge. It's a statement. We're showing the galaxy that humans and Aldarians together are stronger than either of us alone. Admiral Kang stood in the command center, watching the exercise results with satisfaction. Operation Aegis Shield was ready. The next time the Nexer came, they would find not just a collection of ships, but a unified fleet working as one. Lieutenant Yoon made final adjustments to the Guardian systems, knowing that everything she had worked for would soon be tested in real combat. The quantum shields hummed with power, ready to protect not just individual ships, but the hopes of two civilizations fighting for their future. As the exercise concluded, Admiral Kang sent a message to all ships. Remember, we're not just defending ourselves. We're defending the right of all species to live free from tyranny. The Nexer think they can break us by force. Let's show them what happens when they face the combined strength of humanity and our allies. The fleet dispersed to their assigned positions, ready for whatever came next. Operation Aegis Shield was more than a military strategy. It was a symbol of what could be achieved when different species worked together, combining their strengths to face a common threat. The massive Nexer flagship, World Ender, emerged from hyperspace above the Alderian homeworld, leading a fleet of over 300 warships. The vessel lived up to its name, nearly 20 kilometers long. Its black hull seemed to devour the starlight around it. Nexer Supreme Commander Ral believed victory was certain. After all, no civilization had ever survived an assault by such a force. But as the Nexer fleet moved into attack formation, they found something unexpected. Earth's first fleet waited in perfect battle array, their ships arranged in a complex three-dimensional pattern that covered every approach to the Alderian homeworld. Admiral Kang stood on the bridge of his flagship, the ESS Protector, watching the enemy fleet emerge. All ships, activate Aegis Shield protocols, Admiral Kang commanded, his voice calm and steady. Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. The quantum shield network sprang to life, connecting every ship in the human and Alderian fleet. Lieutenant Yoon's creation worked exactly as designed. Each vessel's shields strengthening the others, creating an impenetrable defensive screen. The Nexer commander's first sign that something was wrong came when their initial barrage, powerful enough to crack a planet's crust, splashed harmlessly against the combined fleet's shields. The quantum matrix absorbed the energy, grew stronger, and redirected it to the targeting systems. Captain Lee's ESS Valiant led the first counterattack. His ship, moving with impossible precision, sliced through the Nexer formation. The AI targeting systems predicted every enemy maneuver, placing his shots exactly where they would do the most damage. Target their primary weapon systems, Lee ordered as the Valiant engaged 3 Nexer dreadnoughts simultaneously. Show them what Earth's ships can really do. The battle erupted into chaos as the Nexer realized their usual tactics weren't working. Their energy weapons, instead of destroying Earth's ships, only made the quantum shields stronger. Each attack they launched was turned against them by the adaptive defense network. Commander Park's squadron protected the civilian evacuation ships, their coordinated movements creating an unbreakable defensive screen. The Nexer ships that tried to target the civilians found themselves caught in precisely calculated crossfires. Squadron, Titan formation. Park ordered as enemy ships pressed their attack. Don't let a single shot through to those transports. Aboard the World Ender, Supreme Commander Ral watched in growing horror as his supposedly invincible fleet was systematically dismantled. Earth's ships moved with a level of coordination he had never seen before, their tactics adapting faster than his commanders could respond. The quantum shield network proved its worth as Nexer ships exhausted their energy weapons against it. Each shot they fired only made the defensive screen stronger, while Earth's return fire grew more precise and devastating. Lieutenant Yoon, monitoring the shield network from the ESS Guardian, watched with satisfaction as her creation performed beyond expectations. The AI systems learned from each enemy attack, predicting and countering new tactics before they could be fully deployed. The shields are holding at 90%, she reported. The more they attack, the stronger we become. The tide turned decisively when Captain Lee's Valiant executed a daring maneuver, diving between 2 Nexer dreadnoughts. His ship's quantum shields absorbed their crossfire, channeling the energy directly into his weapon systems. The resulting blast disabled both enemy vessels, leaving them powerless in space. Admiral Kang coordinated the battle with the precision of a conductor leading an orchestra. Each ship knew its role. Each movement supported the others. The Nexer fleet, for all its power, found itself fighting an enemy that seemed to think and act as one. "Push them back from the evacuation corridor," Kang ordered. "Don't let them regroup. Keep them off balance." The World Ender tried to rally its forces, but Earth's ships had already broken their formation beyond repair. The mighty Nexer flagship found itself surrounded, its weapons unable to penetrate the quantum shields while precision strikes disabled its systems one by one. Supreme Commander Rel, watching his fleet fall apart, finally gave the order to retreat. But even that didn't go as planned. Earth's ships, their targeting systems having learned every Nexer evasion pattern, picked off dozens more vessels as they tried to escape. As the remnants of the Nexer fleet flowed into hyperspace, Admiral Kang allowed himself a small smile. The battle had proved what he had always believed, that the combination of human ingenuity and Aldarian technology could overcome even the most powerful enemy. The Aldarian homeworld was saved, and more importantly, the myth of Nexer invincibility was shattered. The quantum shield network had transformed space combat, showing that defense could be stronger than offense when supported by the right technology and tactics. As damage reports came in, it became clear that Earth's losses were minimal. Lieutenant Yoon's creation had protected the fleet while allowing them to fight with unprecedented effectiveness. The battle would indeed be remembered for generations, not just as a victory, but as the moment when humanity proved it could stand against any force in the galaxy. The stars shone down on a battlefield littered with disabled Nexer ships, a testament to the power of two species working together. The tide of war had turned, and the Nexer Empire would never be the same. The liberation of New Haven Colony marked the beginning of humanity's counteroffensive. A small task force of Earth ships, led by Captain Song's ESS Interceptor, approached the Nexer-occupied world under the cover of a stellar dust cloud. Their quantum shields, running in silent mode thanks to Lieutenant Yoon's latest upgrades, made them nearly invisible to enemy sensors. "All ships, prepare for engagement," Captain Song whispered, though there was no need for quiet in space. "Remember, our priority is protecting the colonists on the surface." The battle lasted less than an hour. The Nexer garrison, caught completely by surprise, found their weapons useless against the Earth ships' adaptive shields. The liberated colonists emerged from their hiding places to find their oppressors' ships floating powerless in orbit. News of this victory spread quickly through subspace channels. On dozens of occupied worlds, enslaved populations began to hope again. The Nexer Empire, which had seemed unbeatable for centuries, was beginning to show cracks in its armor. Admiral Kang coordinated the liberation campaign from the mobile command center aboard the ESS Protector. His strategic genius, combined with Lieutenant Yoon's technology, turned each battle into a demonstration of Earth's growing power. "The key is not just winning battles," he explained to his commanders. "It's showing the galaxy that resistance is possible. Every colony we free becomes another ally in the fight." Lieutenant Yoon worked tirelessly to improve the shield technology. Each engagement provided new data, allowing the AI systems to become even more effective. Smaller patrol ships, once considered easy prey for Nexer cruisers, now routinely emerged victorious from combat. On the colony world of Threshold, the Earth fleet arrived to find the local population already in open revolt. The Nexer garrison had called for reinforcements, but found themselves caught between the rebellious colonists and Earth's advancing ships. "This is Captain Lee of the ESS Valiant." The transmission went out to the besieged colony. "Earth stands with you. Hold on for just a few more minutes." The Valiant led the assault, its quantum shields shrugging off the desperate barrage from Nexer ground installations. Earth's ships had learned to coordinate their shield networks so perfectly that they could extend protection to the rebels fighting on the surface. Word of each victory traveled faster than the ships themselves. On New Terra, the colonists rose up before the Liberation Fleet even arrived. On Crystal Haven, an Aldarian mining world, the slaves in the mineral processing plants overthrew their overseers in a matter of hours. The Nexer Empire's response grew increasingly desperate. They began destroying their own facilities rather than let them fall into enemy hands. But even this scorched earth policy couldn't stop the wave of rebellion sweeping through their territory. Commander Park led a special operations group that specialized in rapid response to such destruction attempts. His ships would appear seemingly out of nowhere, their enhanced shields allowing them to survive even suicide attacks by Nexer captains. "They're fighting like cornered animals now," he reported after one particularly fierce engagement. "They've never had to defend their territory before. They don't know how." Lieutenant Yoon's reputation grew with each victory. The Nexer began to fear the sight of Earth's distinctive shield patterns more than any weapon. Their own energy weapons, once the terror of the galaxy, had become almost useless against her constantly evolving defensive systems. The liberation of the prison world Tartarus marked another turning point. The Earth fleet arrived to find thousands of warriors from dozens of species, all eager to join the fight against their former captors. Many had been resistance leaders on their own worlds, imprisoned when their rebellions failed. Admiral Kang welcomed these new allies, incorporating their knowledge of Nexer tactics into Earth's battle plans. The combined fleet grew more powerful with each passing week, while the Nexer found themselves struggling to maintain control of their remaining territories. "We're not just winning battles anymore," Admiral Kang told his officers during a strategy session. "We're dismantling their entire empire, piece by piece." The Nexer's final attempt to turn the tide came at the Battle of Trinity Point. They gathered their remaining capital ships for one massive push against the Earth fleet. The battle lasted for 3 days, but the outcome was never in doubt. Lieutenant Yoon's shield network had reached its full potential. Earth's ships moved as one, their defenses adapting instantly to every Nexer tactic. The once mighty Empire's fleet broke apart under the combined assault, their ships either destroyed or forced to surrender. As the dust settled on 6 months of continuous combat, the galaxy had been transformed. The Nexer Empire, which had terrorized countless species for centuries, had been reduced to a fraction of its former territory. More importantly, the Liberation Campaign had given hope to oppressed peoples throughout known space. Earth's victory proved that even the most powerful empire could be defeated by a combination of technology, strategy, and the unbreakable spirit of freedom. The stars looked different now to the crews of Earth's ships. Where once they had seen only the darkness of space, they now saw the lights of freed worlds, each one a testament to humanity's determination to protect not just their own, but all who needed their help. The ESS Defender hung in Earth's orbit, its quantum shields creating a subtle shimmer against the blue planet below. In the ship's main conference room, representatives from across the galaxy gathered to witness something unprecedented: the formal surrender of the Nexer Empire. Ambassador Kim Hanna stood at the head of the long crystalline table, a gift from the Aldarians for this historic occasion. Her months of careful negotiation had led to this moment. The Nexer Supreme Command, once proud rulers of half the known galaxy, now sat across from her, their dark uniforms stripped of rank and decoration. "The terms of surrender are before you," she said, her voice carrying the weight of history. "They ensure the rights of all peoples to self-determination, while providing a path forward for the Nexer people themselves." The Nexer representatives studied the document displayed in the holographic field between them. Their empire, built over centuries of conquest, would be dissolved. Each world under their control would be free to choose its own government, its own alliances, its own future. Admiral Lee Sung, recently promoted for his role in the war, watched from his position near the viewport. The sight of Earth below reminded him of how far humanity had come since that first contact with the Aldarians. In just a few years, they had gone from a single-planet civilization to a major force for peace in the galaxy. One by one, the Nexer representatives pressed their hands to the document, their biosignatures recording their acceptance of the terms. As the last signature was registered, a subtle tension left the room. The war was officially over. But the real work was just beginning. In the days that followed, representatives from dozens of species arrived on Earth, to participate in the formation of the new Galactic Council. The Great Hall of the United Nations in New York was modified to accommodate beings of all shapes and sizes. Ambassador Kim worked tirelessly to ensure every voice was heard. Species that had been enemies for generations found themselves working together to build something new. The Aldarians' crystalline architecture blended with Earth's classical designs as the Council headquarters took shape. Admiral Lee, now Earth's first representative to the Council, found himself learning the intricacies of interstellar diplomacy. His military experience had taught him the importance of understanding different perspectives, a skill that proved invaluable in his new role. Lieutenant Yoon's quantum shield technology became a symbol of the new era. Instead of a weapon of war, it was adapted to protect merchant ships and exploration vessels. The same network that had defeated the Nexar now helped coordinate peaceful trade between worlds. The former Nexar worlds began their own journey of transformation. Many chose to form independent governments, while others sought alliances with Earth, Aldaria, or other peaceful nations. The Nexar people themselves, freed from their military hierarchy, revealed a rich cultural heritage that had been suppressed by centuries of warmongering. We must remember, Ambassador Kim often said in council sessions, that today's enemy may be tomorrow's friend. The path to peace is built on understanding, not victory. The Earth-Aldarian alliance became the cornerstone of the new galactic order. Their combined technological and cultural exchange programs helped bridge gaps between species that had never before communicated. The council chambers rang with dozens of languages, all working together to build a better future. Admiral Lee found himself teaching younger officers about the importance of diplomacy alongside tactical training. The strongest shield, he would say, is the one that prevents conflict from starting. As the months passed, the changes became more visible. Trade routes that had once carried warships now buzzed with merchant vessels. Former Nexar military stations were converted into cultural exchange centers. The galaxy was healing. On the first anniversary of the surrender, a great celebration was held in Earth's orbit. Ships from every member species of the new council gathered in a stunning display of unity. Their quantum shields, synchronized by Lieutenant Yoon's protocols, created a spectacular light show visible from the planet's surface. Ambassador Kim stood in the council chamber, watching the celebration through its transparent dome. The Earth-Aldarian alliance had grown into something far greater than a military partnership. It had become a beacon of hope, showing that different species could not only coexist but thrive together. The galaxy had indeed learned its lesson. Humanity's youth among the stars had proved to be an advantage, bringing fresh perspectives to ancient conflicts. The combination of Earth's adaptability and the Aldarians' wisdom had created something unprecedented, a truly united galaxy. As the celebration continued, Admiral Lee looked out at the assembled ships, each one representing a people who had chosen peace over conflict. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if they too were celebrating the dawn of this new era. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same. And perhaps that was the greatest victory of all.